Voidpet tier list. We're ranking all the Voidpets today. Let's start with Abandonment. I give it B tier. Its ability is pretty good for when you're low, but I mean you're low already, so that's not going to keep you for long unless you can heal all that HP back up in like an instant. Its stats are pretty good. It's tanky. Will you ever find a good use for it? Maybe. Depends. Anger. A tier. Its ability is really good since it somehow combos well with its other ability, Unbridled Rage. When you get low for Unbridled Rage, what it does is it actually also adds more onto it as if it was attacked, and you can use this to defeat a lot of bosses, so it's pretty good. Anxious. We'll give B tier. I think its stats are okay, and it's good offense. It's great offense. Defensive wise, not really. What I use for my set is I do leaf volley, leaf volley, sharpened dancing blades, and of course its signature one, which I forgot the name of it because it's been a while since I've used it, but I figured out that when it attacks back, it actually counts as an attack, so if it gets a crit, Dancing Blades will also activate there. Apathy. C tier. I've never used this before. I don't have that many. Its move seems bad. Brush Off is good. That's kind of the only thing it's got going for it. Cringe. Good B tier. It's pretty tanky. It's got better defense stat than Salty, so that's got something it's got going for it. It's calm. It's kind of low, and there's not much other it can use for it. It's probably good stall. It has a nice, not really a nice amount of HP, but I use it, kinda. Curious. C. Never used it. Its thing seems bad. Well, Wild Flurry, that seems kind of bad. Like, it's good damage, but this thing is just forgettable. If I've befriended 500 plus of them and still have never used them, then you've done something wrong. Defiance, A tier. Its ability, good. Lowers balance, very helpful. And then it can also put out nice offensive output. Its Vivids also work pretty well with it, so yeah, that's another thing it's got going. Desperate, have never used, but it seems pretty good. Every time I run into them, I somehow get slammed so hard. Its signature move does seem pretty good. I will probably look into using that soon. But I forgot its other one. Oh yeah, it's if it gets low, it raises its crit rate, which is kind of good. Determination. Ooh, I think we'll put that in B tier because its stats are overall good. It really lacks in speed. When it gets low, the Omni Boost is pretty good. All stats boost. That's really helpful. And then its other a Wavering Flame that also works really well with it. Disdain. Like, I feel like that's gonna it's really great for like the game overall. Anything with healing, slammed by this. Its ability lowers calm, slammed by this. This thing has really good offensive output as well. It's not really built that well defensive, but that can be easily fixed with an Earth Vivid set. Best Support of the Year award. Down bad. I'll put that in B as well. I use it, and it can come up with some interesting things. Like, having priority first turn doesn't really mean that much. Maybe if you use its thing to raise its speed, you can like always go first, but there's no way you're gonna outspeed a Panic or a max speed Lust. I mean, you might be able to, but no guarantee there. It does have pretty good offensive stats, and there's some fun sets you can make with it. But I don't know. Envy. We're also gonna put in B tier. It's got really good focus stat, but it's kind of slow, so, and not very tanky. So if you don't like live, then there's not really much in doing that. And that it's got the opposite of Gatekeep, which is Gaslight. That works really well with it, I will say. But, that's if you can even live 2 turns. And then its other Vivids don't really work that well with it. Well, they do. Probably, like, I would say Firestorm would probably work well with it. Because that's what works well with, Sage over here. And now we're gonna do Estrangement. We'll put C tier. Like, I was originally gonna put it in D tier, but it's actually kinda good. It's got pretty good health. All of its stats other than that kinda suck. Its speed is terrible, but... and its abilities don't really make much sense. That's probably the reason, because it's quite strange. But, I can still find use for it. It's not terrible. If I can make a Molten Fury set that gives me, like, freaking the most I've gotten in it with, like, is like 30 stacks of Molten Fury. It's crazy. It's also really good, with, Germination, the one that heals you for, like, 60% of your HP after 3 turns. This thing stalls so good. Glee. We'll put Glee in A tier. It's got great offense, great ability. Is it bulky? Kinda, comm-wise. Its speed is okay, and then it can lower focus, so which is helpful in certain boss fights. Gluttony. This is just trash. See, its offensive stats, great. Its speed, great. Will it die in 1 hit if you go for... yeah, definitely. You just bring it, Rip Current Anger, it's dead. It's so thin. It is quite annoying, so I think I'll actually put that in C tier. It's probably kind of controversial, but, like, this thing is just glass cannon. If you can somehow manage to make a good set with this, I'd be surprised. Greed. Put the... Put Greed in B tier. I rarely use this, but, I mean... we'll put it in A tier. I bet there's some people who can come with good sets with this. This is for the people who take much longer in thinking, I can do something great with this. Like, it could probably work well with other Vivids. Grumpy. Ooh, I've never used Grumpy. C tier. Actually, we'll put it in B tier, because, Primal Charge is pretty good. It's kinda tanky, kinda offensive, but kinda slow, you know. Jealous, we'll also put in B tier. It works okay with the Steel Vivid, and it's always annoying when it uses Leaf Volley, but it doesn't get Leaf Volley if you get it on the Metal Vivid. You can only get Steel Whirl with that, but if you do a Steel Whirl plus Dancing Blades, that hits 6 times, so you heal 6 every time, and then you would run Sharpen with it, and then you would also run Vitality Slap for extra HP, because it's not the tankiest. So yeah, Judgment. I have not used Judgment yet. I am training up my first one ever currently. It's Earth Vivid, so we'll see how that goes. I think they're really bad. Like, its ability, I don't know how it works if you're the same level as them. I'm assuming if you're level 100, you still get the stat boost again when it's not level 100. But, I mean, it would be higher level than you, maybe, so I'm not sure if that counts. And it seems pretty good offensively. I don't know how tanky it is, but I'm gonna try to find an Earth Vivid set for that. Lonely. Ooh. I'll put that in A tier. Lonely, it's pretty all-rounded. It's good. What else about it? Well, what else is good again about Lonely? It can explode things because you can use Heat Up twice, giving you like a boost 500. That's really good. Can have a Rip Current. I'm pretty sure he gets Rip Current if he's a Fire Vivid. Probably works with a lot of things well. He works well with a lot of things. Lonely is pretty good. They're also kind of tanky, so like I said, all rounded, overall great. Voidpet, Lust, A tier. Now, this is kind of weird. Lust got buffed because it sucks. It's not very tanky, but This thing is really fast and has really good focus. And now that its signature move was buffed, it's kind of like really hard to beat if you can't kill in one turn. It runs well with an Earth Vivid set. What I do is I run Grounding plus Decomposition Aura, which Decomposition Aura slowly does more damage every turn, which makes it heal more. So there's times where it's healed like 300 HP, when mine doesn't even have 300 HP. It's only got 285, I think. And then it also is running Deepening Madness, so Grounding makes up for the defense loss, and then Stone Surge for extra coverage. Mary, D tier. Okay, this is the one I'm being, like, legitimate about. The incoming focus is only 10. That is not that good. Its signature move, not that good either. It's okay support. It's, like, a really cruddy support. It looks nice, but there's, like, almost no point in running it. Disdain is, like, the best support in the game. Forget about Mary. Disdain is your boy. Nostalgia. Put in C tier. See, any Earth Vivid would run great with the Grounding Max, but we're not considering that. When it works together, it can get pretty powerful, but what really holds it back is it can't just use any move. It can only use all Earth moves plus Gaslight, which I haven't seen for a while, so I'm assuming they might have removed that. But that's also because I don't use Nostalgia much. So it's better when running a different Vivid, because you would get that Vivid's moves that you use on it, plus all the Earth moves. But other than that, it's just not that good. It's all-rounded, kinda, but I rarely use it. Pain. Easily S tier. And I'm gonna explain why. It's really tanky. Is it good defensively? Not really. But because it's got a lot of HP, if you run Germinate on it, it can heal up quickly. Brambles to make your opponent slower than you, because it's kind of slow itself. Log Thump for extra DPS and self-sabotage. I haven't tried running a Metal Vivid on this yet, so I'll try that soon. The Water Vid for this one, really good. Downpour, Hydro Gulp, self-sabotage, Rip Current. Pretty sure that's what I'm running. It's really good. Panic. A tier. It's good offensively, but I most commonly find myself using them more supportively. And they're also really good wood vivids if you can find one with a good speed set. Like, you can use, that's like one of the only counters to the grounding stacking I've found, other than hydraulic press, and hydraulic press isn't that good. So what you can do is you can use, just how you can stack grounding over and over again, you can stack the speed blitz, I think it's called? Growth Spurts. Growth Spurts, what it's called. You can stack that over and over and over again. You make this so fast, and because it's the fastest creature in the game, you can just mow over at everything with its insane speed stat. However, it's not that tanky. So I actually use that on Estrangement, because Estrangement has a lot of HP and could just heal that up. Paranoia. The reasoning for this is I use Paranoia a bit, and there's some pretty fun things you can do with it, like, if you have a Wood Vivid one, you can do Briar Speed Conspiracy Theory, you can do Icy Rapids Conspiracy Theory, you can do Pyromania Conspiracy Theory. Imagining getting all three of those, putting that on a Paranoia, tanky enough to not die in one hit. Make sure you get all of them pretty welly, and just use Conspiracy Theory. Imagine how much damage that would do. And I don't do that because I never use mushrooms to change a Vivid, just think about how much damage that could do. It's really good. And it's kinda tanky. I used it for the entire game through. You might have seen him before, but I have a absurd Wood Vivid named I Love Him, because he's just my precious little boy. Pride. I barely use this. Its ability is okay. I mean, I'll put it in B tier. Like, I rarely use it. Its ability is okay. The crit is pretty good. I put it on a Wood Vivid one, and I guess it runs well, but, it's not, it's kinda tanky, kinda good offensively. I don't remember how fast it is. It's just kinda forgettable. Design's good, though, so I'll give it that. Rejection. A tier. It's really tanky. It's really good offensively. I use it for fire stacking, and I did have a set for Earth Vivid, but it just wouldn't work that well. If it could work well with all Vivids, that would be great. It's overall pretty good though, and it runs well with Rip Current, so yeah, it's great. Resistance. I'll put an A tier. These are ignoring grounding stacking, the fact that you can just get infinite defense. Resistance, well, if we're thinking about that, resistance isn't that good. It's got great defensive skills, good offense. Like, I don't know if it deserves A tier. Like, we'll give it A tier. It's pretty good. But, like, it can't work that well with other Vivids. It's kind of best if it just sticks to Resistance. Just sticks to its normal Earth Vivid. Sad, my favorite boy. Go with A tier because of the, it can lower attack, which you can use just like Glee. It's pretty all-rounded. You know, it's not terrible. It works well as a support. You know, Downpour goes good with it. It could also be a really good offense I would commonly run into in the battles that these offensive sets went crazy when I was training. Sage. Also A tier. I'm also gonna call it A tier. It's got great offense. I run a Fire Vivid one with it's like really good. It's got Firestorm, Molten Fury. It does a lot of damage with Firestorm. This is really good offensively. It's got great speed. It's pretty good defensively. Just make sure you don't get hit by any Earth moves or the explosive Lonely. And what I do is I ignite them. I run Firestorm. What was it? Flame Gobble. I think it's called Firework. And Latent Misery. No, I run Molten Fury. Forget Latent Misery. It could be a good support as well, but I don't know. Salty. S tier. I said we weren't including grounding stacking, but this guy's even good with hair grounding stacking. Hear me out. Even the boss in the game also presents itself really well, especially since it technically got a buff recently. It can just get so many crystals to where even if you do hit it, you'll die. You'll die trying to attack this thing. This is so good, it does not need ground stacking. It could run Crystal Beam and you would be dead. Salty is the best boy. Sanctimony. I'm also gonna have to put that one in D tier. Like, it's a good support. Like, I'll put that in C tier, actually. It's a good support. But, wait, anything can be a good support. Its HP is kind of bad. And it's not very good delay. I mean, its ability is okay. It's just kind of bad. Like, literally any of these other ones would run a way better support. It's somehow even worse than Mary. Sloth. Put an A tier. Its ability is unique, and Lethargic Whack does a lot. It can do a lot of Ignite stacking, what I do for my Fire Vivid one. It's got Pyromania, and I stack Pyromania 6 times, and then I use Lethargic Whack, and if that doesn't kill, then, what Lethargic Whack does is it does, like, a lot of damage. It'll put, like, all that fire onto the creature, and it'll have so much burn, it'll just die. It's not very fast. It's got pretty good defensives. Its offense is okay. But, like, why am I putting this in? Like, its abilities, like, I think I might put that in B tier. Yeah, we'll put it in B tier. Like, it's pretty all-rounded. Its comm stat's insane. It's got, like, it can have, like, 600 comm stat. But it's not really good balance-wise sometimes. And offense, it might be a great support, maybe. And its abilities, okay. Sonder. A tier. I might put it in S tier, but that's if it runs better. Like, it's not that good defensively or healthily, but, okay, well, what I come up with is for Wood Vivid, I would do Brambles plus germination plus meaning of life plus fragment burst. What you do is you just keep using meaning of life and germination for all the health back. It like barely loses any health because you just keep healing, and then you have extra turns because you can actually stack meaning of life on top of each other. You get to like 30. You don't have to worry, and you just keep spamming brambles, and it just keeps getting fragments. And this is if you know you can live that long, and then you stack them all off, use fragment burst, make sure your health is looking good, and you can just sweep through the team, because they have to attack you unless they are some crazy support. Spite. Look at B tier. It is really good offensively, kind of fast, pretty fast, but is like glass. It's kind of like gluttony, but better, I'm almost gonna say. Backstab is pretty good. It's great. Like, it's pretty good. Definitely better than like everything under it. Like, I can definitely say that. Wonder. I've used this once. It is not that tanky to live like even a turn. It can't even survive a rip current from like any of these things. I'm including panic here. It can probably survive 2 from panic, but that's not enough for it to really do that much. If it can go first, it can do great offensive output on the 3rd term that it's alive, but like it's not that good. I almost want to put it in D tier, but in the off chance that you somehow do manage to get it going, it's a monster and can mow down everything. These guys can't really do much unless they're running like Molten Fury or Grounding Stacking. Wrath. I'll put it in A tier. Actually, no, we'll put it in B tier. Its offenses for physical are like super good. 400 attack. It can go against resistance pretty easily. It can run offensive sets, defensive stats. Well, not defensive sets. This is not built to be defensive. Supportive sets. On my Ground Vivid one, I don't actually run ground stacking on it. I run Crystallize and Crystal Smash because that's how much damage this thing does. So I'd sometimes do like 800 damage, just a lot of damage. And then if you're gonna die, you just use Pass the Torch. Well, the 120 for incoming, super good. And Mischief, the newest guy, our newest little fella. B tier. You would assume he might have been a little bit better, but the reason why I'm rating him this, like, pretty in the middle is because that's what he is. His offensive stats are pretty good. His defensive stats are about as good as I can get. Speed's pretty good. Like, he's pretty kinda all-rounded. Like, you get what I mean? But, his ability is kind of annoying. That the Earth Vivid one I run is like super confusing. Like, it's got your normal ground stacking, but it's also got Decomposition Aura for healing instead. Because, if you can't run Crystallize and Mineralize, it's just better to run Decomposition Aura. But that gets annoying because if you don't want to like kill your opponent as much, it's not that well to run. And then for I'm pretty sure it was the one where if you kill with it, you steal your enemy's balance and calm, which works really well on this. So just ground stack and steal their things. He becomes very bulky, and then Decoction Aura just heals it back up. But he's also got his Woven thing. Like, I think what I was trying to go for is get as many like side effects things on him, which the most I've gotten is maybe like a row and like 2. I don't know, but if you can make him work, you can make him work. I can't really like make him do much. If he had like Nostalgia's ability, he would do way better. But yeah, this is the tier list. This is what I think about every Voidpet. If you disagree with me, I would like you to explain your reasoning why you think Sacrimony would be S tier. Like, come on, this thing, its ability's okay, but like, it belongs on the trash with Mary. But anyway, this is what I think as the Voidpet player I am. Like I said, your opinions will be different from mine, unless you somehow completely agree with this, which I would understand that. because it's a tier list I made. Anyway, so how we go to one. This has been Nectarine Cat rating every single Voidpet.